Zoe, that salad was delicious. I must admit it was nice and fresh and crunchy, but I'm sort of feeling I need a little bit more sustenance, something to carry me through and give me some energy. And I think that nothing beats biscuits or cookies.
All right, I think there's going to be some sugar added to that. So tell me what I can do.
I think there's going to be some sugar added. We know there is. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own... Normally with a biscuit recipe or a cake recipe, you'd use almond meal.
Okay.
But, you know, we've got walnuts. That's what this episode's
Perfect.
about. So I'm going to make my own walnut meal. I'm just going to put it in the blender here. And the beauty of it is, I mean, it's got a bit of a husk around the outside instead of cleaning it
I like
off.
all of that stuff.
So it's a little bit wholemeal. Well, for the moment anyway. So all you need to do if you want to make your own almond meal or, you know, walnut meal or hazelnut meal into a blender like this, turn it on. And in no time at all, you've got great walnut meal
Fantastic.
or whatever sort of meal you want.
Easy as that.
And I've left this a little bit chunky because we want to, while we're eating the biscuits, we want to chew on some walnuts. Because, I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So just take this little blade out here. And I'm going to leave this here for later on. Now, in my blender here, I'm going to just put this blade here straight in there like that. And I'm going to put some butter. Lovely butter.
Some butter.
So, well, just a little bit of butter. So what I could do is put a little bit of butter in like that, and then a little bit more butter in like that. So I only ever put a little bit of butter in. There we go.
That's like the calories you eat at night don't count. Is that all the ones you eat standing up?
So in goes half a cup of sugar, and I've got, this is a vanilla bean. Beautiful. I love using vanilla beans. You could use vanilla essence if you want. There's nothing better than the real thing, I think.
Such a beautiful look, always seeing that little speckle of vanilla bean in it. I think it's such a nicer flavour than the vanilla essence.
I agree, and you get all these little black spots. That's a sign of using the real stuff. Yeah. Not as my kids would say, Daddy, there's fly poo in my ice cream, but, you know, it's not. It's actually real vanilla. There we go. In goes the vanilla, and all you need to do is pop the lid on, and what we're going to do is cream the sugar and butter together, and that vanilla will go all the way through it and give it a great flavour. So
easy doing it in the blend. I mean, so many times you do these types of things in a bowl and it takes time.
Just cream it with a... I remember doing that, you know, with a wooden spoon. Takes forever, but one of these things, with the blade, all you need to do is turn it on, give it a minute or two, and it'll cream up beautifully.
Fantastic.
OK, this is the thing. You've got to wipe it down, make sure it all blends in nicely. Now, to add some flour, can you, Zoe, measure 1.25 cups of plain flour into this bowl with a sifter? And this is about 1/4 cup of corn flour. If you can just sift that through so it's nice and light and airy.
Fantastic.
And what I'll do is I'll just wipe this down one more time and I'll just turn it on until it's nicely creamed, and we'll be able to finish these biscuits off in no time.
Great.
OK, Zoe, that's creamed up beautifully. What I'm going to do now is just pop one egg in. I'll just crack one egg and just pour it straight through the top here while it's whizzing around. Probably a good idea is to actually crack the egg into a bowl so you make sure you get no shell in it. But I'm sort of living on the edge here. So throw that in there like that. And then all we need to do is, with the plain flour, just pour that straight in. I'll just do that nice and carefully, and you'll see this will dough up nicely. Look at that, all coming together. There we go, that's all in there. And then all I need to do is put the walnut straight in. All that goes in nice and easily. A little bit of a tap. And look at that.
Wow, that looks fantastic.
It took no time at all. And what I'll do is I'll take this out. I'm going to pour this back into this bowl here. So I can fold through just the last little ingredients. And there's a tiny bit of flour just on the edge there, but it won't matter at all because I'll scrape that off. Because I've used butter that's at room temperature, this is really soft and easy to work with and really easy to fold everything through. Basically, this is a shortbread recipe, a recipe that I got from my grandmother.
Oh, we like those recipes, always the best ones.
She made the best biscuits. And I've made this many times, but I reckon the shortbread that she makes is always that bit softer than mine. So all I do is mix that around a little bit. Now, to get a little bit of flavour in there, so if you can grab some of this honey. There we go. And put about a tablespoon of honey in there. And I'm going to pour some of this orange blossom water, just to give it a beautiful flavour. About a tablespoon's all you need. And all I'm going to do is just carefully work that in. Now, the trick is to make sure...
I can smell that orange blossom.
It's really strong, isn't it?
It's lovely.
The trick is to sort of warm the honey up a little bit so that when it mixes through, it actually goes through really well. You can see this is really nice and soft and ready to finish off. You could easily just make little balls and put them on the tray, but what I reckon is if you roll it up and set it in the fridge, and all I've got is some baking paper here, if you hold that down there, all I do is just take this out of here like this with my spatula and straight onto there. And this is the beauty. You can actually make this a couple of days beforehand or a week beforehand. What I do is actually put it into the fridge or the freezer. So when I've got guests coming around or people coming over, all you do is just cut it up and put it straight on the trays and bake it. So all you need to do is just roll that over like that, because you want like a sort of tube. I sort of spread it out like this.
This is a good way to get lovely little delicate biscuits.
Or big chunky ones. I love making ice cream sandwiches, and this is the perfect way to do it. So all I do is just twist it around like that on either side, and it becomes nice and round like a big sausage. I pop it into the fridge, and in about 20 minutes, half an hour, it'll be firm enough for me to cut beautiful biscuits.
Wonderful.
Have a look at that, Zoe.
Wow.
Pretty good, isn't it? All rolled up into a nice, neat log like that. And if you make this ahead of time, you keep it in the freezer or the fridge, and you know when you've got friends coming over, you've got that beautiful smell of biscuits, and you've hardly had to do anything.
Smell.
There we go. Straight through the middle here like that, just so I can see. You can see, you know, the biscuit dough there, and you've got some of the walnuts there.
Love seeing the walnuts in it. It's great. That lovely sort of whole food approach.
And you've got little speckles of the vanilla there. So what I'll do now is I'll just cut through there about a centimetre, all the way down. From this, I reckon I'll get about 12 to 16 biscuits. Oh, probably a few more. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They're beautiful. So what I do with these is I just put them like that. Now, Zoe, what I'm going to get you to do is to put a walnut on top of it, so we know that it's a walnut biscuit because it's got a walnut.
I've chosen perfect walnuts for you.
Perfect, and I just put the half ones on, and these are really easy to do, you know. Pop them into the oven now, and they take about 12 to 14 minutes to cook, and I cook them nice and low at about 165 degrees Celsius for about 12 minutes. Now, we've made sure that they've got a bit of room around them. They do spread a little bit. These will go into the oven. They'll have that beautiful walnut smell and lovely biscuits, and you can see we've even got some left over. I'll just wrap these up, and, you know, we'll have them later on for a snack with our coffee or tea, or your herbal tea anyway, into the oven. My biscuits have cooled down. You can smell them, can't you?
I gotta say, they smell pretty good.
Here we go. I'll put a few of these on the plate here. Just stack them up like that. And you can see how they're spread a little bit. So luckily we made a bit of room. And of course, just dust it with a bit of icing sugar. It makes it nice and white and snowy and...
Just rounds it out with more sugar.
Why not, I say. Now, would you like to have one of these and tell me what you think? And I know this is sort of sometimes food, but if this was one time, which is sometimes, is this the sort of biscuit you like?
I love it because it's quite doughy in the middle. If I was going to... Well, when I do eat a cookie, that's the way I like them.
It's nice and short and...
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, good. You probably wouldn't have a big chunk of ice cream in the middle of it, but...
I might actually just drop a little bit of that sugar because I find it a little bit sweet for me, but I love the walnuts in it.